Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. I'm Emmanuel, I'm an airline pilot, and one of my favorite general aviation aircraft of all time is now available again in Flight Simulator 2024. Of course I'm talking about the Black Square TBM850, which has just been released with the latest update for the brand new simulator. Now, at this point, thank you very much once again to Nick from Black Square as well as Just Flight for providing my review copy of the aircraft. And now let's go ahead and have a look at what this magnificent airplane can do in the brand new simulator. We've loaded it up over at Dienstlaken Schwarze Heide, Echo Delta Lima Delta, which is the airfield where I actually learned how to fly. Lovely little add-on available from the marketplace, not exactly the top-notch, but absolutely fine for bringing back memories over here. And we're going to fly it from my old base, where I learned to fly, to my new base, where I am flying, or at least the immediate vicinity of it. So, Dienstlaken to Egelsbach, which is just next to Frankfurt Airport, and then I'd say we are gonna get straight into it. So let's go ahead and start by actually removing all the covers, getting the chocks out, and also removing the pitot covers that are pinned just over here. Also a very quick look into the engine compartment, just making sure that there is nothing there that is not supposed to be there. And this is actually looking pretty good. So, well, that's looking good. Then we can go ahead and close all of those hatches again. Very quick look at the front of the plane as well. No damages, no nothing. The same applies to the wing. Then we can walk around that to the back side of the plane. The iconic T-tail, or well, not T-tail, but the iconic tail of the TBM over here is looking good. Now, very quick check inside the passenger cabin from the aft side. Let's open that up, get the stairs down, and have a very quick look, and everything is nice and tidy. But since we are flying ferry today, we can just stow this once again and close that door. Nice little click spot down here on the static port, because you can't really reach the door handle when you are on the outside of the aircraft. Alright, with that, walk around is looking good. Weather radar is looking good as well, by the way. So let's open it up, get out our stairs, and then we can go right inside and start to go flying. Alright, so a little bit difficult to actually climb into there, but here we go. Alright, so let's close that one again. Let's also close the main entry door. And here we go. Okay, so far so good. Now, with everything done, we are back in the cockpit of our TBM850. Many of you are probably used to the default TBM930, which is a magnificent airplane as well. The 850 a little bit more analog, but we do have the TDS GTN XI unit available in here, and that one is going to do all our navigation today. Now, quite a couple of options available through the iPad down here. You can choose between the PMS 50 and the TDS. You could also install the default GNS 530 or just a standard analog gauge if you want to fly old school. Couple of options available down here as well. As you can see, these are how I've set mine, and with that, let's get straight into it. So, payload page. Wing tanks are full. We've got a pilot and a co-pilot, but no passengers. A little bit of baggage loaded up here as well. Center of gravity is within the operating limits of the aircraft. Wonderful. So, over here, a couple of interesting things where you can monitor your system performance and monitor exactly what's going on inside your airplane. We're not going to deal with that too much today, but I do find these things pretty nice to have. Alright, so let's stow that tablet, and then let's go ahead and get straight into our checklists. I'm using the official checklists from the product manual, in case you're wondering which one I'm using. But of course, since we haven't flown the airplane in a little while, I might be a little slow on them. So my forgiveness if I can't operate this as smoothly as the Airbus or the 737s or 777s. Nonetheless, let's get straight into it. So, landing gear lever is down. The source selector up here is off. The generator selector is on main. Okay, the starter is off, the ignition is on auto. Then exterior lights are all off up here. The gyro instruments are all off. Emergency lights are... Actually, where are those? Down here, and they're off. The gyro instruments are all off. And then, let's see, emergency lights, or rather, all the lights actually. Test, that's looking good. Then down here, everything's looking good as well. We've got a light test down here, all looking good. Then we've got another light test down here and down here, which are actually not operative at the moment. We should probably turn the battery on. Interesting that the checklist doesn't actually tell us that just yet, but okay, we'll just leave it at that. Alright, so let's continue then. So, circuit breakers are down here, all in, and we don't have any on the left-hand side. So, de-icing switches down here are all off. So, landing gear control is down, autopilot trim master off, radio master off, bleed air is down here and off. Air conditioning off, dump switch guarded, ram air handle is pushed in. Okay, auto fuel selector is on manual. Then we've got the auxiliary boost pumps off, tank selector down here is on the left hand tank, ELT is armed, park and brake, that's nicely hidden down here, is now set. Okay, manual override lever is off, power lever is on flight idle. So, prop lever max RPM, condition lever cutoff, flaps up, and battery bus power. Well, we'll check the supply in a moment. Alright, so with that, let's go. Source selector on battery voltmeter is above 25. So now, exterior lights panel. Come on. Light test is looking good. So we'll also do the light test on the de-icing systems, then we'll do the test on the landing gear systems. That's looking good. Then we've got the light test on the ECS panel is also looking good. Alright, and then let's continue. So fuel gauges. Quantity is completely full. Advisory panels checked on this side, test number 1 and test number 2, all operating. Oxygen annunciation is off. So interior lights are set, environmental panel lights are tested, flaps, they want them down. That's rather interesting. Okay, so let's bring them down. And here we go, flaps are set. And then the landing gear lights are tested as well. So next up, let's go ahead and ensure that our pitot heat is working. So pitot heat 1 on, pitot heat 2 on. Ensure that the annunciations extinguish, which they do. And then we can turn them right back off again. And the stall heater annunciations are coming back on again. Alright, cool. And that's this lovely stuff tested. Good, so that's the pre-flight checklist complete. So let's now go for the before starting engine checklist. Pre-flight inspection completed, nose baggage door is closed, engine compartment is closed, cabin door is, let's see, closed, and we can see the latches are in place as well. That's looking good. Alright, pilot door is also latched, park and brake set, seats and seatbelts fastened, oxygen pressure is checked, oxygen supply is, let me actually see, that one's supposed to be hidden somewhere down here, is it? Very quick look across the panel here, just to be sure we don't miss it, but that's all looking good, okay. It's that one, isn't it? No. That's the wrong one. Alright, here we go. And that's closed again. Very good. Right, lovely. So that is looking good. Then let's continue. Microphone select is normal, starter is off, ignition is an auto, landing gear control down, radio master, well, there's no clearance required, so we can leave that one off. So, source selector is on battery. Alright. Then, let's see. Where was I in the checklist? So, door annunciation is extinguished. Fuel gauges are full. Fuel auto selector goes on to auto. And then fuel selector shift, and now we should be on the right hand side, which we are, so that's working just fine. Engine instruments. So, very quick check. Torque at 0, prop RPM 0, NG 0, ITT 21, which is basically the outside temperature. ITT test is working just fine. And then let's go. So, strobe light is coming on. And then we have the before starting engines checklist complete. Let's go into the engine start checklist. So, manual override lever is off, power lever, flight idle, prop lever, max RPM, condition lever is cut off. Source selector is on battery, auxiliary fuel pump on, aux BP light illuminated. So fuel pressure is green, and then let's go. Ignition is on auto and starter on. Alright, so starter is flashing, NG is increasing. We're looking for a minimum of 13% NG. You can also monitor that down on the engine tramp monitor down here. We'll let it run up for a little bit longer so that the engine start doesn't get too hot. Alright, here we go. So let's monitor the ITT. It's 1090 maximum, and it has to be below 870 within 20 seconds, but look at that. That is looking absolutely wonderful. Alright, oil pressure annunciator is off, and oil pressure is in the green. Lovely. That's how we want to see this. Okay, beautiful. So, engine is running, starter can go out again, voltage is looking good again, amperage is positive. Alright, so condition lever, high idle, engine instruments are checked, auxiliary boost pump, auto, and the fuel pressure light is extinguished. Sorry, the aux boost pump on light is extinguished, fuel pressure light is extinguished. Why are you rolling? Parking brake is on. How's that airplane? No further comment on that one, huh?
Cabin crew.
Okay. Main generator annunciator is extinguished. Voltmeter is at about 28 volts, and the ammeter is charging. And that's the engine start battery checklist completed. So after that checklist, please. So gyro instruments all on. And prop DIs on, green light, windshield heat on, green light. Okay, airframe DIs on, and a cycle should begin. That's going to take a little while. Can I already see something here? Might have missed it. Okay, well, that's fine. And airframe DIs back off again. So, inertial separator is coming on. Then the ammeter stays below plus 50. So, generator selector onto standby. And then we still have voltmeter at about 28 volts. Generator selector main. Okay, flap selector up. Here we go. So, bleed air. Auto. Fan flow as required, and I am gonna go for auto up here, and air conditioning can come online. Alright, cabin temperature over here at about 20 and a bit, that's perfect. It's looking good. Airflow distributors and auto. Cabin altitude should be field elevation plus 500. So we're looking at something... Sorry, field elevation minus 500. So actually something down here. Okay, that's looking good. Now we are looking for the cabin rate of climb to show us a slight arrow up. Where is it actually? Gotta find the gauge. Told you it's been a little while since I've flown this airplane. But yep, it's actually looking okay. Lovely, and then weather radar is on off standby. Well, is on off standby. That doesn't sound very good, but here we go. So that's set to off now. Okay, so radio master on. EFIS master is located right up here. A little bit hard to see right now. Coming on. Okay, autopilot and trim master is on. So EFIS source set to the left. Electric trim is looking good. Checked. Taxi light on. Okay, inertial separator annunciator is illuminated. Then we can release the parking brake. Airplane rolls. Tow brakes work. And that's the after starting engines checklist complete. Alright, lovely. Then let's quickly do our avionics setup. So, flight plan, Echo Delta, Lima Delta.
TOS, system test OK.
Thank you. So, next waypoint, Bravo Oscar Tango. From there, direct to Misgo. Then we're going to fly via Tango 911 all the way towards Tahu, load, at waypoint Frankenstein, and then Echo Delta Foxtrot Echo, Frankfurt Egelsbach. Here we are. Very good, route is loaded, transponder 7000 standby, we want to monitor COM 1 and 2. 122705 is the COM frequency, and then 121355 is going to be our departure frequency. Alright, and that's everything set. So, looking very good, and everything is set. COM 2 can go to 1 to 1.5. And that can go active. We don't need anything on the radios, but let's not tune the localizer frequency down there. Alright, so down here you get the GPS position, heading to the runway heading, which is going to be 080 roughly. Initial climb altitude 3000. Q&H should be set for a field elevation of 217 feet. Something like this. And pattern altitude is in 1200, so I am going to set the buck down here as well. Lovely. And you, of course, get that same pattern altitude. Something like 1021. Here we go. Alright, cool. So with that, everything is set. Then let's go ahead and let's actually get going. Dienstwagen Radio, Delta Foxtrot, Echo Lima Foxtrot. Delta Foxtrot, Echo Lima Foxtrot, TBM850, IFR to Egelsbach, request active runway.
Delta Lima Foxtrot, runway 26 active, left-hand circuit.
Delta Lima Foxtrot, runway 26, left-hand circuit. Dienstlagen Delta Foxtrot, Echo Lima Foxtrot, taxi in runway 26. Okay, the left side is clear, the right side is clear, then let's get this going. It accelerates quite a bit on idle. Let's actually go back to low idle down here, just to reduce that power a little bit. See, that's how it taxis, a lot nicer on low idle. So runway track is set. We are going to go for the full length, which is just about over here. And man, I wish it would have been that easy to get all our gliders all the way over here, because the glider takeoff position is over there in the grass. We always had to push them by hand all the way over. Alright, here we are. So, park and brake is set, then let's get the engine back up to high idle, otherwise we can't do the run-up. And then let's commence the before takeoff checklist. So, park and brake is set, park and brake annunciator is actually not illuminated, so that thing might be broken. Okay, so let's go ahead. Terrain test. That's looking good. Then power lever up to 1900 RPMs.
500. Pause system test. Okay.
Here we go, that's 1900 RPMs, roughly. So, exercise the propeller to feather. And it feathers just about fine. Okay, so let's do the governor test, and that one is nicely hidden in the back over here. So, prop overspeed test, holding that one. Actually, got to get into a slightly different perspective here. Holding that one, now let's bring the prop lever all the way back up. Should go to 1800. And it does. Then we'll release the button and that should go to 1900, huh? And it does. Okay, cool. So, power lever back down to flight idle. Okay, so fuel imbalance should be less than 15 gallons and it's just about balanced perfectly. Fuel selector is on auto, boost pump is on auto. So, flaps as required, and we are going to use the takeoff position down here. Fuel selector, shift to fullest, pitot heat on. Both of them. So, de-icing systems are set, inertial separator is not required and can be switched off. Advisory panel should be... No, you shouldn't be on beta. Here we go. All off. Okay, engine instruments are checked. Flight controls. Let's see that. Are checked. Okay, the ammeter is below plus 50. Park and brake released, and strobe lights coming on. Well, are on anyway. Okay, and that's the before takeoff checklist complete. So then, let's get going. Landing lights on, weather radar on, self-test in progress. We can quickly wait for that. And we are planning on flying 21,000, so let's set that plus 1,000. Okay. That's looking excellent. Lovely, then we should be ready to go. Dienstleitung radio, Delta Foxtrot, Echo Lima Foxtrot, lining up and take off runway 26. Approach area clear, left
Delta
side
Lima
clear.
Foxtrot, wind calm, runway 26 left-hand circuit.
Runway 26, left-hand circuit, Delta Lima Foxtrot. So we'll just hold it here for a second. Timer. Mode onto the elapsed. And start
Delta
timer.
Lima Foxtrot. Roger. Foxtrot acknowledged.
Will you start the timer? No? Okay, that's fine. We do have one in the engine monitor down here. That works for me as well. Alright, cool. So then, let's go. I'm holding the brakes while I'm setting the thrust here since I haven't flown the plane in a little while. Sorry for that. Alright, so torque up to 100, that's looking good. Let's just bring up the timer down here. Start, transponder on alt as well. Forgot that earlier. Brakes released, take off. Speed alive. $80 knots. Rotate. Positive climb. Tap on the brakes and gear up. Yaw damper is on. 400 above ground. Flaps up. Lovely. Flight model is just so good with these black square aircraft. Delta Lima Foxtrot leaving the frequency. Bye bye. Long radar, Delta Foxtrot, Echo Lima Foxtrot, request IFR clearance to Egelsbach.
I'll have your clearance in just a second.
Okay, so we are airborne, then let's reduce our RPMs to 1900. So 850 mode is coming on. Let's not climb too fast, otherwise we are going to...
Delta Lima Foxtrot, clear to Frankfurt Egelsbach. Direct bot drop, squawk 4262.
Clear to Egelsbach via direct to bot drop, squawk 4262, Delta Lima Foxtrot.
Delta Lima Foxtrot, identified. 2 miles southwest of Dinsblachen-Schwarzer Heide Airport at 2300 feet. QNH 1022, cleared direct bot drop. Climb flight level 200.
Clear direct bot drop, climb flight level 200, Delta Lima Foxtrot. Okay, perfect. That is what we're looking for. So then, let's get nav mode, ES mode, and autopilot. And here we go. Cool. So, climb checklist. Power lever.
Contact Langen radar on 128.555.
128.555, Delta Lima Foxtrot, bye.
Departure, Eurowings 4.
Long radar, Delta Foxtrot, Echo Lima Foxtrot, passing flight level 41, climbing flight level 200.
Delta Foxtrot, Echo Lima, Foxtrot, Langen radar, identified. Good afternoon, Bottrop Kirchhellen, QNH 1022.
1022, Delta Foxtrot, Echo Lima Foxtrot. Okay, 1022 is set and checked, but we are not going to need that for much longer anyway, since we're approaching transition altitude. So, set standard.
Cleared to Frankfurt Egelsbach via Bottrop, then as filed. Climb flight level 200.
Via Bottrop, then as filed, climb level 200, Delta Fox, Echo Lima Fox.
Switching to Amsterdam radar on 127.
Okay, so we were about to set standard. And standard is cross-check, passing flight level 54.
Clear to Frankfurt Egelsbach via Bottrop, then as filed.
You said that already. So Sometimes this is a little bit annoying when ATC doesn't understand you properly. But anyway, it doesn't matter, here we go. So, let's actually go ahead and accelerate a little bit. So let's go to VS over here, give me 500 feet a minute, we'll accelerate a little bit more. We'll keep the torque up at 120.
Delta Lima Foxtrot, climb flight level 210.
Delta Lima Foxtrot, climb flight level 210. Set. Flight level 210 checked, and alt-armed. Right, 170 knots should be sufficient.
Delta Lima Foxtrot, say again your last message.
Disregard. God, ATC is annoying today. So, let's see if there's any shortcut we may be able to get. Delta Foxtrot Echo Lima Foxtrot. Any chance to proceed direct lip me? That might save us a little bit of time.
Delta Lima Foxtrot, cleared direct, LIPE me, climb flight level 210.
Clear direct to lip me, climb level 210, Delta Lima Foxtrot. Alright, so direct to lip me and climbing level 210 is set anyway.
Delta Lima Foxtrot, climb flight level 210.
I'm not going to answer that, honestly. We've said that more than often enough now. So what's the temperature? +3. But we are through the cloud already. If we can't see through it, then we can fly through it without anti-ice as well. Alright, lovely. So that we're up and on the way. Then let's see. Cabin is climbing at about 500 feet a minute, that's just fine. Differential pressure is building, cabin is climbing to 4,500 feet only, so that's quite good.
Blanket radar, KLM 902.
Can I actually reduce that rate of climb a little bit here?
KLM 902 Yankee radar contact.
Alright. So, that was pretty easy. Up and on the way. Beautiful look outside. And I can actually see my old house from here. Not gonna tell you where exactly though. Alright, so we are now climbing at 170 knots, which is obviously on the very fast side for a climb with the TBM, but on the other hand side, why not? Now, we climb at about 1,300 feet a minute here, which isn't super fast, but then again, we have plenty of time for our flight anyway. Something we can already do is to go down here, utilities and VNAV. Do we need to... Okay, looks like we need to enter a constraint in the flight plan first. That's a change. Okay, so after Frankenstein it's 9 miles to Egelsbach, so let's make that 2,000 feet. Then we should be absolutely safe here. Actually, tell you what, let's make it 3,000.
Dear guests, we are now above
Blanket radar, Centric 33 Mike Delta, flight level 390.
Okay, save that, and now let's go back down here, utilities, VNAV, and here we go.
We hope you enjoy the flight as we make our way from Dinslaken to Frankfurt. Thank you.
Alright, cool. So, the cabin is pressurizing, and the cabin is actually up at altitude already, making things about as easy as it gets. Weather radar is absolutely clear. Let's increase that range a little bit. 100 miles should be good. Well, cabin is, let's see, nice and cozy at 20 degrees. I turned it up a little bit more. Then we've got a little bit less torque now, since it decreases with increasing altitude. So let's just put that all the way back up to 121.5. Props at 19 are good, NG is within limits, temperatures are good. Then let's have a look at the engine monitor down here. the one thing that I like the most is down here the air data. Then you go down a little bit. Down here you have that flight timer as well, by the way. Very useful little gauge, but the one I like the most is that one down here, giving you your speed information, especially including the Mach number down here. Something that many people don't know is the TBM can actually fly up to altitudes where speeds are given in Mach. So if ATC asks you, typically above level 250, if they asked you to report your Mach number, that's where you can find it, down there in the engine monitor. Not exactly the first place that you might think of when thinking of getting airplanes' performance data, but it works, and it works well, so I'm not going to complain about
radar,
it.
Swiss 3, Quebec Bravo, flight level 170.
So fuel is less on the left side, that means in the best case, yep, it's automatically switched to the left tank. Remember, the automatic shift is engaged up here, so I believe every 15 minutes, might be mistaken about the exact number of minutes, it is automatically going to shift the fuel tank selector to the fullest tank. Alright, so climbing at 1,000 feet a minute, smoothly up to flight level 210.
Turkish 68 Delta, radar contact.
So let's have another look at our VNAV page. Top of descent in 18 minutes, we're still climbing for about 7, then descending for about another 7, so we'll have a cruise of about 5 minutes. Fine with me. We could, of course, climb a little bit steeper, aka at a slower airspeed, but I'm not really a fan of that. So an airplane like this, something that we just always have to do is to keep our cabin temperature in view, because the air conditioning system is not always capable of actually maintaining those.
Eurowings 2 Tango, flight level
Today air conditioning is already turned on, but we could have to turn the bleed into high in order to be able to maintain cabin temperatures. I don't think that that's going to be an issue in today's flight, since we're only cruising at a comparably low level.
Expect the runway 8 approach into Frankfurt-Egelsbach. Expect to descend in about 15 minutes.
Delta Lima Foxtrot expecting runway 8 and descent in 15 minutes. Thank you.
Eurowings 53 Bravo, contact Cologne Bonn, approach on 121.055.
Okay, looking good, totally happy with that.
121.055 for Eurowings 53 Bravo, good day.
So, let's use a little bit of that time. I just want to go down here. A couple of things that I want to do. First of all, over here we'll just go direct destination. Echo Delta Foxtrot Echo Egelsbach. Enter activate. And the reason I want to do this over here is because it should give us a little bit of additional information, like the direct estimated time en route and distance and stuff, but for some reason it's not giving me any of that. Not because the main system is overriding it. If yes, then it's a bug, because the GTN shouldn't have any influence on the GNS 530. Maybe a bug. Okay, so be it. But the one thing that I want to enter in here is target altitude. We'll make that the pattern altitude. I think it's 1300. We'll check that in a few moments. And we want to reach that 4 miles. Well, I was about to say 4 miles before destination. Might actually have to enter one down here. But then again, I can't really be bothered. So we've got the GTN if we need anything. And we've got ATC anyway. In the real world, on a flight like this, you could be 99% sure that you are not going to fly what you filed. They will take you on radar vectors, they will basically guide you somewhere. And then you'll eventually cancel IFR, land VFR, and that's it. Seriously, that's how this works. And it works pretty well. Back in the days in my flight school, where we only had the GNS 430, so we couldn't type the waypoints, we had to dial them in letter by letter. We usually just dialed in the first 1 or 2 waypoints plus the destination, because in the vast majority of times ATC would just tell you to fly a direct destination anyway. Or they give you, you know, maybe the first or second waypoint, radar vectors, but in most cases direct destination. Easy going. That's on these short flights. Now, funnily enough, I had a story where we've been on the 737 in like flight level 370, somewhere over southern France, headed to Cologne, and on that frequency and on these altitudes, we heard someone getting a direct to destination. Then I looked at my colleague, he looked at me, we were like, shall we try that as well? With like 500 nautical miles to go? Yeah, let's try that. Bordeaux, any chance we can proceed direct to destination as well? Stand by. 30 seconds later, proceed direct destination. We were like, holy moly, that actually worked. And it did. And, well, we actually proceeded mostly to the destination. Like 100 miles before, they took us on radar vectors to guide us into the traffic flow, but man, that was nice. Of course, it only worked because it was like 1 AM and there was hardly anybody flying, but it was nice. So, let's make sure the torque stays right up there. As we increase the torque, we gotta have a careful eye on the rest of our figures to ensure that we don't actually overheat or overspeed the turbine.
3, Mike Delta contact
this
comes
is
to the
all
radar
looking
on
excellent.
127.78.
What does the engine monitor say?
127.78.
102.8, 806. That is absolutely fine.
Langen radar, Chinook 7 Yankee Alpha, flight level 370.
Langen radar, Turkish 2 Uniform Hotel, flight level 400.
Turkish 2 Uniform Hotel, radar contact.
Okay, so we're about to reach cruise level. Make sure that alt capture is armed, otherwise it is not going to do it.
Langen
That's
radar, Chinook 71
a little bit
Delta,
unfortunate
flight
in
level
this
310.
airplane, but that's how it works. So let's see about
Langen radar, Eurowings 49er
6
Charlie, flight
minutes.
level
We need
330.
another like 2 or so until
Eurowings 49er Charlie, radar contact.
altitude.
Langen radar, Center 83 Kilo Uniform, flight level 360.
Just to be sure we have a smooth
Sun Turk
capture.
83 Kilo Uniform,
1,000
radar
feet.
contact.
Langen radar,
Then it's going to be like 4 minutes up at cruise altitude, and thereafter we'll be descending already.
Langen radar,
Amazing.
2827
I like
Alpha,
these kind of
flight
flights,
level
I really do.
250.
Now, nonetheless, we can't just relax all flight long, we do have a little bit of work to do. Namely, we should go ahead and start to prepare our approach in Egelsbach.
Ryanair 4909er, radar contact.
So, what I am going to do is the following. The entire AIP is available online completely for free, thanks to the German courts. So let's go ahead and actually find our approach charts as soon as we've leveled off. So 30 seconds to level off. Let's just quickly monitor that before we distract ourselves with other things. And then I'm going to show you how to plan a VFR approach. Alright, here we go. Altitude capture mode is active, as you can see over here. Alt mode has engaged. And here we go. Up at level. 21,000. So, cabin pressurization is good. Top of descent in 3 minutes is fine with me as well. Cruise checklist, power lever. Well, I am going to keep full power because I can. Fuel quantity and balance. Almost full, almost balanced. Cabin pressurization monitored, DR systems off, inertial separator off, ignition on if heavy press it. That's not the case. Cruise checklist complete.
We will be starting our snack and drink service shortly.
What are you doing? Practicing any PAs? We don't have passengers, my friends.
Cheese rolls and refreshing drinks available for you.
But you can give me one of those cheese rolls, man.
We will also be offering items from the virtual airline shop. So stay
Langen radar, Channix 5 Romeo Juliet, flight level 350.
Delightful journey.
Okay, so lovely speed here, absolutely gotta say that. Let's take a very quick look down at the engine monitor.
Langen radar,
So, true speed 262, still accelerating. Nice.
Emirates 4 Papa Yankee radar contact.
Okay, so now let's find the approach chart. So we're going to head into the AIP VFR. So this is the real world AIP over here. We'll take the AIP VFR since Egelsbach only is a
Delta,
VFR
Lima
field.
Foxtrot. Whenever you'd like
Airports.
to send, flight level 110.
Okay. When ready, descent level 110, Delta Lima Foxtrot. Okay, so now let's find Frankfurt Egelsbach.
Delta Lima
Here it
Foxtrot.
is.
Descend flight level 110.
Descending flight level 110, Delta Lima Foxtrot. Okay, we quickly gotta initiate descent first. Why is that a master warning? What are we doing wrong? Probably reaching maximum airspeed up here, huh? Or what is it? No, torque exceedance. Interesting. Okay. We are gonna do something about that. Reducing power. Alright, so we're cleared down to level 110.
Vertical
Let's
track.
select that. And then vertical speed, -1000, engage. Altitude armed. And down we go.
Langen info, Lufthansa 20,
Right,
flight
vertical
level
speed required is
170.
1500.
Lufthansa 20
We are going to
radar
accelerate a
contact.
bit in the descent, so let's do 1700. Field elevation down to landing field plus something, so roughly something over here.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have begun our descent into Frankfurt. At this time,
Okay,
we
pulse
kindly
lights
ask
on,
everyone to return
and
to
descent
your seats.
checklist.
Stow your
Altimeters,
tables, fasten your seatbelts.
remain on standard, cabin
Just a quick
altitude, field
reminder,
elevation
the use of
plus
the lavatories is
500.
Thank you for your
Pulse
cooperation.
lights on,
We
de-icing
look
system
forward to
off,
landing
inertial
shortly.
separator off, airflow distributor off, ignition auto, full quantity and balance checked, and fuel selector can remain on the left side for the time being. Descent checklist complete. Now look at how the plane is accelerating here. That's what I call lovely. Quick check down here. Yep, that is noted. How can we... Here we go. True airspeed 330 knots. Beautiful.
Delta Lima Foxtrot. Descend flight level 060.
Delta Lima Foxtrot descending flight level 060. So, 1700 feet a minute, so we guesstimated quite well. And now let's go back into the AIP to find our arrival charts. So, this is going to be the approach. We're coming down from Foxtrot Kilo Sierra, Frankenstein VOR.
Radar contact.
So then we'll most likely enter up here via the Delta routing. Now,
Langen radar,
runway 08
Lufthansa
is in
20,
use, so
flight
we
level
enter
200.
along the highway, A5
Lufthansa
up to the
20
north
radar
and then
contact.
onto the final, and that's it already. Pattern, well, we are not really gonna fly pattern unless they want us in via Kilo, but that's only runway 28, so runway 08 is gonna be the Delta routing for sure. Okay, traffic patterns not permitted west of the highway because that's where Frankfurt's runway 18 is, of the big Frankfurt airport, and we have a couple of airspace constraints here that we gotta be wary of. Field itself, landing on runway 08 today, and then vacating to the left, probably Charlie or Bravo, to the left, and then on to the main apron over here. And that's about everything I've got for the approach. So, speed is approaching the maximum permissible. We are going to keep it right at that, so let's reduce our power a little bit. Quick check down here, now that we are at maximum speed, 334.
Langen radar, Lufthansa 9
Beautiful.
Yankee Echo, flight level 170.
That's how we can do this, man.
Lufthansa 9 Yankee Echo. Radar contact.
Gotta say, this is enjoyable, this airspeed. Overall, this airplane is.
Langen info, Condor 9 Delta November.
I mean, we're in the air for 23 minutes by now, and it certainly
Condor 9
feels
Delta
much,
November.
much
Radar
less.
contact.
Langen radar, Easy 13 Zulu Hotel, flight level 380.
But that's how I'm enjoying it.
Easy
All
13
right.
Zulu Hotel. Radar contact.
Quick look outside. Beautiful Germany. Beautiful Frankfurt.
Langen radar, Turkish 12 Romeo Tango, flight level 160.
Tango, radar contact.
So, passing 1500.
Ocean 8 Delta, contact Frankfurt approach on 127.28.
Over to Frankfurt approach.
So let's see, the lights are on and
127.28,
pulsating,
Ocean 8
and
Delta.
everything else is set down here. Easy going. What's our cabin doing? Differential pressure is rather high still, but the main cabin itself is descending at about 600 feet a minute. Need to go down that fast.
Delta Lima Foxtrot, descent flight level 050, QNH 1023.
Delta Lima Foxtrot descending altitude 5000, QNH 1023. I know she said flight level, but if she gives me a QNH and 5000 definitely should be an altitude. So let's go ahead, set QNH 1023. So set this side and set this side. QNH 1023, cross check passing 13,400. Now. Checked. Okay.
Langen radar.
So we are going to pass right over Wiesbaden Air Force Base over here. With a bit of luck we get to see a couple of lovely American fighters. Or whatever they've stationed over here. We definitely get to see a little bit of a lag.
Delta Lima Foxtrot, descent altitude 4000, turn left, heading 090 vectors for the visual runway 26 approach.
Delta Lima Foxtrot, descending 4000, left heading 090, vectors runway 26. Okay, heading. So, runway 26, that's something new. Thought they said they have 08 in use, but I'm gonna use 26 as well, happy with that. And since it looks like we're getting vectors through the northern pattern, let's have another look at the approach chart real quick. And here we are again, so coming in runway 26, we're probably going to vector us over here and then right across the city of Offenbach and then via Dietzenbach down to the Tango routing for runway 26, which is more or less a straight in to the A661 over here. And then from there we're going to join the final to the airport. Looking at the field itself, that's the Tango routing coming right over the forest. Actually, I think I'm wrong about that. Tango's for 08. It's going to be Yankee. Again, straight over the forest on an extended center line. Making things easy. Making things about as easy as it gets. So what we can already do is go down here, procedure, approach, and it's going to be visual runway 26, load and activate, 3-degree glide, and 3 miles visual. So let's see, utilities, VNAV, interesting, no data. Okay, that's fine, but you can see how the vector takes us straight around the control zone of Frankfurt. Just about perfect. Reaching 4000 over here is fine. We are going to be level for a little while, but we have to plan it this way because we need to go below the final approach of the international airport. Something that I really like about the GTN XI is that when you enter the visual approach like this, you basically get an RNAV approach drawn up over here, and it exactly mimics the RNAV approach profile. So that's quite cool. So what I'm gonna do is we'll go down to 2000 or so, and then we'll just use the approach mode to guide ourselves perfectly onto the final approach. I know, I'm a cheater. I can live with that. I can absolutely live with that.
Langen info, Swiss 115 Bravo, flight level 330.
Swiss 115 Bravo, radar contact.
Langen radar.
So right over the towers,
Charlie, flight level
beautiful area for
350.
flying.
Vegas 7 Charlie, radar contact.
And look at that.
Delta
So
Lima Foxtrot, turn right, heading 105.
Right heading 105, Delta Lima Foxtrot.
Langen radar, looks airline
Heading 105.
633, flight level 240.
Radar contact.
So, very small cloud, not worth even mentioning. Okay, so that's Frankfurt International over here. And then right over here, I think is Egelsbach. Yeah, should be along that field over here. And here's the runway 18, due to which we must not overshoot that approach. Now, talking about approaches, let's do a very quick approach briefing over here. So we are going to approach on a visual runway 26. The pattern altitude, especially for a missed approach, is going to be 1300 feet. So let's go ahead and set that altitude back down here. Here we go, 1300. Well, that's about everything. Approach speed is going to be 90 knots. We can give ourselves that little bit of margin. The K to the right, and yeah, that's it. Any questions? No? Lovely. So that's our briefing complete. 1,000 to go. It's 2,000 feet a minute. So I'm not even asking for a right-hand turn now, because, as you can see, flying right along the control zone of Frankfurt. Do you have any traffic in the area? No. Probably inoperative. I can't imagine that there's no traffic around Frankfurt. I just absolutely can't imagine it. So, since they are somewhat noise sensitive here, let's reduce our power a little bit. And then I am just going to bring the prop down to 1600. Here we go, that way we aren't as loud. A little bit more friendly to all the inhabitants over here. Beautiful, look
Delta Lima
outside.
Foxtrot, turn right, heading 130.
Right heading 130, Delta Lima Foxtrot. Lovely views. Absolutely lovely. Okay, well, we are VMC, so let's cancel the IFR flight. Delta Lima Foxtrot, cancelling my IFR flight. Funnily enough, there is one question in the ATPL questionnaire.
Roger. Radar services terminated. Squawk 7000.
Squawk 7000, Delta Lima Foxtrot. Okay, so squawk VFR set. So they said radar service terminated. Then let's go ahead and disconnect the autopilot. Remove the flight director.
Langen radar, ITARO 427, flight level 190.
Langen radar, Sun Express 4 Romeo Yankee, flight level
And all the way down to
310.
1300.
Sun Express 4 Romeo Yankee,
Let's try
radar
to
contact.
stay over the forested areas here.
Turkish 1, flight level 300.
Turkish 1, radar contact. Lufthansa 1317, contact Frankfurt approach on 127.
And then when we're entering class Delta airspace,
127.
below 1000 AGL, so basically when reaching 1300, then and only then we've got to reduce our airspeed down to below 140 knots. Delta Lima Foxtrot is leaving the frequency. Bye bye. So, Egelsbach frequencies info active. Egelsbach Radio, Delta Foxtrot Echo Lima Foxtrot. Good afternoon.
Delta Foxtrot Echo Lima Foxtrot, Frankfurt Egelsbach Airport Info. Hello, pass your message.
Delta Foxtrot Echo Lima Foxtrot, TBM850, 2 persons from Dienstlaken, 10 miles final runway 26 via the Yankee routing.
Delta Foxtrot Echo Lima Foxtrot, Frankfurt Egelsbach Airport Info, Squawk 4450 and ident.
Squawking 4450 and identing Delta Fox Echo Lima Fox. So, we are approaching the center line.
Delta Lima Foxtrot, squawk codes are not assigned here. Maintain your current transponder setting.
No comment on that, since he just assigned me one. So, 1500 is the ceiling for the controlled airspace, so we gotta remain below that. I think 1400 is just about fine. And then we can slowly start reducing our airspeed. You can see I'm remaining a little bit to the left of the inhabited areas over here, just to reduce the noise imprint of our aircraft. Absolutely beautiful hand-flying model, by the way. You can see how nicely I can control this airplane. Looks like the autopilot is engaged, doesn't it? So we're now basically in 1000 AGL. That means at the 3 mile point, which is now 4.7 dmi away from us, we are going to intercept the vertical profile that's calculated by our GTN over here, and therefore basically fly our fictional ANAF approach. Okay, Egelsbach is visible in front over there. Let's start reducing speed. Egelsbach Delta Lima Foxtrot on final runway 26. Okay.
Delta
So,
Lima
out of the
Foxtrot,
850
runway
route.
26 is not in use. Runway 08 is active with left hand.
Delta Lima Fox, roger, we are joining the right-hand downwind runway 08. ATC earlier on told us that it's 26, but no comment on that. Alright, so back up to 1300 and then we'll
Delta
do the
Lima
traffic pattern.
Foxtrot, good 1536, join right hand downwind runway 08, report final.
Join the right downwind 08, call you on final, Delta Lima Foxtrot. Okay, so let's get the speed down. Flaps.
Delta Lima
Landing.
Foxtrot, roger, report final.
Yeah, that's what we'll do. Interesting issue with the terrain elevation over here. Look at that. There is definitely no hill like this anywhere nearby. Yeah, no comment. Frame rate is going crazy right now. So here's the power line. What is my frame rate doing? Holy moly. I have a feeling this is somewhat related. I have a feeling this is somewhat related to the terrain issue that we just had here. Okay, so there's the highway in front of us, the one that we're not supposed to cross. So, turning right base. Let's ensure we don't overfly the highway. This is looking good. And there's our airfield. Delta Lima Foxtrot turning final runway 08. Yacht Emperor off.
500.
Ooh, that was a nice overshoot. In the real world this is much easier when you can look around properly. So we don't need a landing clearance here, this is an uncontrolled airfield. A little bit gusty. Okay, power idle, flare, and touchdown. Nice. So we can just let it roll. A little bit of brakes to vacate to next left on Alpha. Here we go. Nice. Very nice. So, Conrad apron 121-720. Delta Lima Fox changing to apron. Bye bye.
Delta Lima Foxtrot, Roger, report final.
Oh, it looks like my GTN is actually frozen. Maybe that's the reason. Okay, I don't care, then we'll just do without the GTN. And without any further ATC. Thank you for that. Comfort apron, Delta, Foxtrot, Echo Lima, Foxtrot, runway vacated, taxi into the main apron. Okay, so after landing checklist, de-icing systems, all off, inertial separator on, bleed air off, and weather radar off, flaps up, landing lights off, taxi lights on, strobe lights on, pulse lights off, oxygen supply off, after landing checklist complete. So, 40 minutes. That was actually a longer flight time than I expected. So, to the right, to the left, and then to the parking. So, there's the marshal awaiting for us. And stop. Alright, the parking brake is set. Shutdown checklist, please. Parking brake set. Parking brake annunciator is actually broken. Taxi light off. So, bleed air all off. Cabin depressurized. Fan flow off. Air conditioning off. Power lever has been on idle for a minute. Gyro instruments all off. Then EFIS master off. Autopilot and trim master off. Radio master off. And prop lever feather for 1 second. So down and feather, and thereafter condition lever cut off. Auxiliary boost pump off. So tank selector. Where's the click spot? Here it is. Pulled and off. Okay, inertial separator off. So interior lights off, ignition off, source selector on main Generator selector main, source selector off, and crash lever down. And that's the shutdown and securing checklist complete. So with that, my friends, welcome to Egelsbach. Let's press to unlock, open up, and I do hope that you guys have enjoyed this flight as much as I did. I'm certainly very happy to have the TBM back in our simulator, really enjoying flying her. In the meantime, let's go ahead and put all of our covers in place so that the airplane doesn't wear down here. So that's looking good, and then we can close you and finally close you. So, and that's our first flight in the TBM850 in Flight Simulator 2024. I do hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. Be sure to leave your feedback in the comments underneath the video. As always, like, comment and subscribe, and if you really love what I'm doing on this channel, I would appreciate a small donation through the Buy Me Coffee link in the video description below. Thank you very much for watching, and I'm looking forward to see you all again on the next one.